welcome to Weber Cup 14. It's a race to 17 points and our teams are all square at 14-14. We're into the head-to-heads. It's a late, nervy Sunday night here at the Metrodome and the pressure is starting to tell. Here's a reminder of what happened last time, with Team Europe eager to revenge their defeat last year and Team USA determined to defend their title. We're seeing a dramatic end to this season's Weber Cup. Last time, scores were level at 13 apiece as the action got back underway. Team captain Mika Koivuniemi and Tommy Jones went head-to-head, and it was a very tight game. Both teams were backstage on tenterhooks. Mika needed a strike on the last ball, and he was victorious, winning by just 1 point. Mika was back on the lane for the next singles clash with Mike Fagan. It was another close-fought contest, but this time it was Team USA's turn to strike gold, and they won by 1 point, evening the scores once again. Every time one team pulls ahead at this Weber Cup, they can't get away. We've come to expect this over the years. So much thrilling action, and it's all come down to this. 3 more singles matches. Then we might, if it goes the distance, have a captain's pick and then a team game at the end. But up next, 2 of the young guns on these European and American teams who've been performing really well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the arena, representing Team Europe, Dom Barrett. And now, representing Team USA, Bill O'Neill. Okay, Bill, Dom, let's have a quick word. Bill, do you sense that the American supporters in this crowd are really starting to get behind you now?
Yeah, I mean, you heard them right there. I think, they probably been taking a lot of abuse from the other fans here, but, we're happy that they're still here supporting us. And
you almost had a perfect 300 game last time. You're enjoying this tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about. Tied up here, a couple matches left. This is why we come here.
Dom, you guys have done so well to fight back from 4 points down, but you haven't managed to get ahead by very far of the Americans.
No, we haven't yet. There's 2 great teams out here with 8 great bowlers, so it was a big shock for us to go down the first session 5-1, and they just lost the last session 5-1, so, it is pretty level as we go through into the last 3 matches. I think that's pretty deservedly so.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Dom and Bill getting ready for our next match. It's such a big match. Whoever wins will be just 2 points away from Weber Cup glory here at the Metrodome. Over to Cass and Andy.
We're cracking through the singles matches as the Weber Cup draws to an exciting conclusion here under the lights, and the Barnsley Metrodome becomes something of a mecca for 10-pin bowling. And who will carry off the cup this year? Bill O'Neill, looking to steer the United States to a 9th crown overall and a 3rd in a row. Bill's up first to just about claim an opening strike.
Just a little tap on the 10-pin, but that's good enough. Look at this shot. Comes in from wide, light on the head pin. Unfortunately, there's something there just to kick that 10-pin away. There it is, the 6-pin. Great looking shot and a great opener.
Gauntlet laid down to Dom Barrett. Nobody has made more strikes than the Englishman. 46 so far. It's not going to be 47, not yet. Leaves that 10-pin standing.
Yeah, I couldn't quite duplicate the good fortune that Bill O'Neill had in kicking out that 10-pin. It's solid in the corner. 6-pin bounces right round it, lays flat in the gutter. So it can only be a spare, so pressure time for the Englishman. And immediately the maximum score potential for the European drops down 10 pins. O'Neill coming off that big 289 game. His previous singles match. Just wants to continue the string of strikes that he had, and he's made the perfect start. Can he carry on?
No, not quite. Leaves the two standing. Right hand side, Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, didn't quite get through that shot. It didn't get out to the zone area where his break point is, and it's crossed the headpin, and he'll be disappointed with that. And it's just left a spare. The 6 and the 10 in the corner. So he's going to go hard and straight, and hopefully take 2 pins away, which he does very nicely. Thank you.
Still clean. Bill O'Neill. Here's Dom Barrett. Gave us a wonderful insight into how Europe were able to use the disastrous experience of 2012 in the Weber Cup to make a real fist of this competition. How they have fought back, but things not going Dom's way here. And 3 pins left standing after his second frame.
Yeah, both players not quite getting the width that they want. Too much reaction in the back end of this drying lane. It's the 3-6-10 combination that's been left over. Hard and straight, and then takes the spare away nicely, but spares are not what these guys want.
Nerves surely have to play a part when we get to this stage. This is match 29 of 31 scheduled. Of course, we have a potential for 33 if these two sides can't be separated after 31. If we're all square, then we will have a captain's pick singles and then a Baker. Yes, strike time for Bill O'Neill. That's 2 from 3.
Well, at this stage of the game and at this stage of the tournament, no one is going to worry how the strikes come. They're just going to accept them no matter what, whether they be good, bad or slightly indifferent. Strikes on the score sheet, that's all that matters.
Well, it had taken just a couple of throws for Dom Barrett to register that 47th strike of Weber Cup 2013, but there it is.
Yeah, good looking shot. High flash in the pocket there, carries all 10. His first strike of the game. And we all know that he wants to double up and make many, many more in this game.
Bill O'Neill, a singles winner already in this session. We've heard. Stu Williams, no match for that 289. Leaves a couple standing there, though.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that Bill's had 2 shots at making doubles and missed them both. This one's gone high through the headpin as well. Hasn't made the pocket, just inside his mark, and big reaction there through the face. There's the 3 and the 6. It's going to be a straightforward spare with his hard ball. But his maximum drops yet again.
Clears the spare, but it's only a possible 2-6-0 now for Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, both players kind of struggling to make that pocket and carry just at the moment. Bill just taking a little bit of advice from team captain Chris Barnes, who's nearby. Yeah, just a bit of eye contact there and a nod and a wink, and the message is passed.
Two in a row now for Dom Barrett. Is he starting to find that rhythm, that groove that has served him so well throughout 2013. Closing in on 50 strikes now for the competition. That's a terrific tally.
Yeah, 2 in a row. Very much pleased. His colleague Stuart Williams we saw, and that's flush pocket right in the 1-3, carries all 10 for 2 in a row. Just maintains that small lead early in the game.
Nicely done there from Bill. So that's a 5th frame strike.
Yeah, certainly gave this ball a bit more width. Got to the outside balls and got a greater reaction in the back end as well. Gave it the room to break up into the pocket. Carried all 10. And this is a big frame for Dom Barrett. He's working 2 strikes in a row. It's his 5th frame. We'll be at the halfway stage already. And one more strike here will do his score the world of good.
Dom's out poaching here. He's looking for the turkey in the sights. Trigger pulled. Yes, 3 in a row for Dom Barrett.
Yes, and fiancé Cassie just watching on there, and this is a great looking shot. He too uses all the width of the lane, gets a little bit of kickback, and it doesn't matter, it's 3 in a row and I'll accept that, no problem.
Tension inside the Metrodome reigns, as well it might. Just look at the overall scorecard. Oh, Bill O'Neill leaves that 10-pin tottering, but it refused to tumble, and he knows that on these fine margins the Weber Cup's won and lost.
Yeah, you can tell by the look on his face that he was very disappointed that that 10-pin didn't go. It wasn't a perfect shot, but you'd like to think that that would go. You're so close to that perfect pocket hit. And of course it was a chance to make a double. He's gone strike spare, strike spare, strike spare. He cannot make a double for love nor money at this particular time.
A look of concern being worn collectively by Team USA here. Back to Dom Barrett.
Yeah, there's the card. A strike every other frame or a spare every other frame, whichever way you want to look at it. Oh, look at that one. And look at the look on Chris Barnes' face. That was a lucky strike, and Chris knew it, and it's gone 4 in a row for the Europeans.
Which way is this going? Dom Barrett can still achieve a 2.77 on the back of Mike Fagan's victory over Mika Koivuniemi. After this come the big hitters for the US, Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes. That'll do though from Bill O'Neill, showing why they call him the real deal.
Yes, but he's got to double up and probably treble up as well. Wasn't the most perfect shot, and Chris Barnes recognised that, as we all did.
Dom started slowly in this match. Spares in frames 1 and 2. Been perfect through 3, 4, 5, 6. And now 7. Dom Barrett and Europe are on a roll here.
Yeah, Stu Williams loved that one as well. And all the European fans just went crazy. Perfect looking shot. Right high on the headpin. Flush 10. Take it away. 5 in a row for the European. Look at that. Still on for that 277 maximum score. And at the moment, there's nothing that Bill O'Neill can do about it. He has another opportunity to make a double. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to execute that yet so far in this whole game.
Doesn't like it.
Yeah, he's just going to resettle himself, regroup, take his time, refocus his mind on what's ahead. And try for that elusive double.
Still no. Still no for Bill O'Neill.
He can't understand it, and the look of disgust on his face as the 10-pin stares back at him defiantly. Look at that. 6-pin jumps round it, almost wraps itself around the 10, but it won't go. And no messenger to help either. Can only be a spare, which it is. Dear oh dear, this game is running away from the US side. But it's also running away because Dom Barrett is in strike mode. 5 in a row, and now looking for a 6-pack. Likely to sew this game up early doors as well.
No, can't quite find that 52nd strike of the Weber Cup. Gonna make this spare, so can't just relax too much just yet.
Yeah, just went a little wide. Fortunate just to leave the single pin standing there, which for Dom should be a straightforward spare. Carries a 36-pin lead into the foundation frame. Not a hard work now for Bill O'Neill to put anything back here. Dom must be feeling quite confident.
A strike for Bill O'Neill, but he just can't find a run of them, and that ultimately is what has really hurt him here in this match.
Yes, every other frame was a strike, not a double in sight.
And this is where you run out of chances. Of course, it's disappointing, but less of an issue. Back in sessions 1, 2 or 3, you know you're going to get another chance. Not so! Now we're into the real end game of the Weber Cup, and the momentum in the process of swinging back behind the boys in blue, Team Europe.
Well, Bill's got to strike out here for 220, and Dom's just going to show up and chuck probably one ball in the 10th frame for victory. Well, there's the double. It's come frames 9 and 10 for Bill. He's left it much too late. Not that it was his fault. He's bowled a pretty steady game here, but steady games aren't good enough at this stage of the tournament.
Yeah, one down, a couple more to go for that 220.
Oh, well,
yes.
Trips the 4-9 for another strike, so he goes 3 strikes in a row. He's left it all too late, I'm afraid. He can make that 220, but he'll step aside and let Dom Barrett just finish off. And it'll be victory for Team Europe yet again.
Well, how about that? Finish off from Bill O'Neill, but he couldn't find it when it mattered most, and that is why he's slouching back to his seat rather disconsolately, because this is Dom Barrett and Team Europe's match.
Yeah, he can't believe the way he's played there. He's finished really, really nicely, but Dom's just finishing off, and that'll do nicely. Thanks very much. He goes through 220. Fiancée Cassie watching on, and she's very pleased as well.
Yeah, nicely dispatched. Dom Barrett takes the plaudits of this crowd. Excitement's reaching fever pitch inside the Metrodome Arena in Barnsley. One down for Europe from this final three. 2 more to go. If they can get these last 2 points, they will have their hands back on the Weber Cup. The USA, once again, are playing catch-up. It is Europe 15, USA 14.
And I'm on the stage with Dom Barrett. Dom, if you keep winning on this lane, they'll be giving you the freedom of Barnsley soon. You've played really well over the last 3 days, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a really good weekend for me personally, but, it's not about that. It's about here as a team. And, we've had a couple of issues, especially at the beginning, but, full steam ahead right now.
As ever, a team man. Your body language, all of you, I just saw you having a little chat with your teammates at the end of that. It's very different from how it was on Friday night. You are so up at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, Friday night was very hard for us, coming off what happened last year, and that brought back a lot of sore memories for sure. So we didn't want it to go that way again. We've dug in, and I think that's showing right now.
Don, thanks very much. Well done. Europe now just 2 points from victory. They have the chance to win one of them next. Welcome back to the Metrodome in Barnsley. We are very much at the business end of the tournament, and Europe have a slender 1-point lead. It's been an absolute thriller, and this is where we stand. The teams have matched each other pretty much throughout this tournament. At the moment, Europe have that slender lead after Dominic Barrett, who's performed magnificently over this Weber Cup, just got the better of Bill O'Neill. Can they go 1 point away from victory? Well, please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, representing Team Europe, Martin Larsson. And now, representing Team USA, Tommy Jones. It's a thriller at the Metrodome. Over to your commentators, Cass Edwards and Andy Bodfish.
The pain of 2012 has been wiped out for the men in blue, Team Europe, because it is they and not the Americans who are closing in on victory in the Weber Cup. 17-7, Europe were on the end of an absolute hiding 12 months ago. You have to say, it was looking that way at the end of the first session as well, as Europe trailed 5-1, but Martin Larsson leaves the most difficult split of all as he steps up in the opening frame.
Yeah, one of the problems of playing this wide on the lane as the ball comes back without sufficient drive to take their 7 on the 10 pin out, and it's the worst possible start off of a ball that actually didn't look that bad, but just drove nothing out to the corners, and so it's likely to be an open frame to start with. And it is. How unfortunate that is for Martin Larsson and the European boys.
Long way to go, but let's be honest, that's the worst possible start. You mentioned it there, Cass. Try and dress these things up nicely. Sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, well, the only worst start of that is a 5 and a gutter ball, I suppose. But he's made 9 pins, and the maximum score for Larsson drops down already to 279s, and Jones hasn't even bowled a ball yet. Well, what can I say?
Big 4.
7-10, big 4. Dear, oh dear. And believe it or not, unless Jones gets 3 of these, Larsson's going to be in the lead, which is just crazy. So let's call it an open frame apiece and bowl a 9-frame game. You'd really want to take advantage of that open by Larsson and hard and fast, and you've thrown pins away there. Now if Tommy loses by 1, he'll be kicking himself all the way back to South Carolina. Dear oh dear, 6 miss.
That's a stunner, and it just goes to show, Cass, that even the top bowlers in the world, the top guys at their profession, they deal in pressure. They play in front of big audiences in the United States, in Europe, also on the Asian tour as well. But when it comes to the final night at the Weber Cup under the lights, well, the yips can get to anyone. Not to Martin there, though. That is a way to follow up his open frame with a strike. Europe are off and running.
Yes, indeed they are. This is a much better shot. See how far left Martin is on the approach and how much that ball rips back. Well, look on his face. Look, almost surprised, but he's very happy indeed. Pressure back on Tommy Jones now.
Tommy Jones. No. Something of the wounded animal about him, but he can't strike there either. Leaves that 10-pin hanging, and he'll have to spare in his second frame.
Oh, it's a much better shot, but unfortunately, yes, it is the 10-pin standing. And he's just going to have to get to grips with what's occurred in frame number 1. And what's happened in frame number 2. Now, Angry Man, dear oh dear, misses it on the inside by a country mile. Here we go, it's hard and straight. And dear oh dear, I'd hate to think what Chris Barnes thinks at this particular time. Tommy just can't believe it.
Well, it's like that old saying, isn't it? You don't fear your governor's anger, you just dread his disapproval.
Yeah, there's something. Tommy's got a problem with that area of the approach where he's sliding. But having said that, Martin Larsson is sliding in exactly the same area without any problem at all. So I'm not quite sure what it can be. And Larsson goes 2 in a row to really turn the screw and put the pressure on Tommy Jones.
Turning the screw is bang on, Cass. Now we're going to see what TJ, Mr. 300 himself, is really made of when the chips are down and when his team need him. This is a man who has already been beaten in this session in the singles by Mika Koivuniemi. Yes, that's more like it. That's the Tommy Jones we know.
Yes, certainly a much better shot. Absolutely ripped the rack and carried 10, so he'll be satisfied with that. He'll be dissatisfied with a 6 miss and a 9 miss in frames 1 and 2. He's going to have to regroup and shoot probably 6 in a row to cover what's been gone before.
Quick re-rack for Martin Larsson. Lost his opening singles against Mike Fagan deep into the opening session. Hit back by beating Bill O'Neill, session 2. A receiving end against Fagan at the tail end of session 3. And exacted his revenge in session 4. 3 strikes in a row for Martin Larsson, and Europe are beginning to dare to dream.
Yeah, great looking shot here from the Super Swede. Lucky Larsson, they call him. It's just a fraction light in the pocket, and the 10 pins the last to go, but let's be lucky.
Well, as the only new member of this Europe team in the 2013 Weber Cup squad, he will want to do his bit, I would argue, more than most. TJ striking 2 in a row now, and he's just have to scratch out those opening 2 frames, both of them open.
Yeah, indeed, he's doing more gardening, as we call it, on his feet. 9 open frames. Have a look at that. That's just a ridiculous number from the man who wants to take this lane home, because he shoots 300 hundreds before lunch when he comes to Barnsley, but open frames have stacked up against him now, and he's in trouble in this match as well. Martin Larsson looking for 4 strikes in a row.
And he claims 4 strikes in a row. He's hit the groove now, has the Swede. The man from the Partille in Sweden, back in for the first time since 2009, and he is helping Europe along to another Weber Cup victory. Strange, isn't it? Either Europe or the United States tend to claim their Weber Cup victories in batches. You never go 1 Europe, 1 USA, back to 1 Europe. Tommy Jones doing his best to pull the United States back towards a 3rd straight. It's 3 straight strikes.
Well, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make 255. He's got to shoot another 7 strikes, which would make 10 in a row, just to make the maximum score now.
Welcome back to Weber Cup 14. Team Europe have a 1-point lead here in Barnsley, and Martin Larsson and Tommy Jones are currently going head-to-head. Can Europe move a step closer to winning this season's title, or can the Americans fight back and level the scores? Let's rejoin your commentators Andy Bodfish and Cass Edwards.
Oh no, it's not his 5 bag. He leaves that 7 standing, and there will be a spare for Martin Larsson in frame 6.
Yeah, another nice looking shot, maybe just a tad wide. It's light on the headpin, but no Messengers or Flying Wood or Deadwood wants to know about that 7-pin. I'll be straightening this shot out across the lane. That will do, thank you very much, but it's only a spare, and he maintains his lead.
Current world number 15, Martin Larsson, a winner in San Marino earlier this year, 6 EBT titles. There's no doubting his form coming into this 14th edition of the Weber Cup. Now, the United States put their big hitters in at games 30 and 31. We've got Chris Barnes to follow Tommy Jones here. And Tommy is finding some form. That's 4 in a row now for TJ.
Yes, it just closes the gap a little bit, gets a little bit closer as we get to frame 6 is finished, and we're running out of frames. TJ's got lots more work to do, and this is the man that doesn't want to let him catch up.
Strikes in frames 2, 3, 4, 5. And now 7.
Crosses the headpin. Can you believe that? How fortunate Martin Larsson is. This one's left of target. Lots of reaction in the back end. Left-hand side of the headpin, and carries all 10. How about that? A Brooklyn strike.
Keep calm, Martin. Keep calm. Team Europe. Victory in this match would put them within a single point of winning their first Weber Cup since 2010.
Yeah, Martin's just showing a little bit of the form that he showed earlier this year. He won a big international tournament out in Saudi Arabia. And Jones, oh dear, oh dear.
The run is over.
Well, looking for 5 in a row, and he can't quite make it. So it's a 10-pin stand up in the corner. Just didn't quite make the pocket. It looked pretty good from way back here, but the 10-pin stands, and Well, he drops his eyes. He knows what that means. The run is over.
Makes the spare. Oh, and how he must be ruining those first 2 frames. Whatever was wrong has really undermined the United States and Tommy Jones' progress at the business end of Weber Cup 14. Those 2 open frames have hurt him terribly.
Larsson working on a strike. It's frame 8 already. They just fly by, don't they? Really intense games.
Let's keep that lead. Oh! No.
Dear, dear, dear. What was wrong with that? Oh, come on. Looking for 2 strikes in a row and everything fine, and that 6-pin just bounces, doesn't it? Gives it the 10-pin a little touch on the way, but won't knock it over. You've got to be perfect there to get those strikes.
So all of a sudden, Martin's maximum becomes 238. Amazed that as he makes the spare. We knew he would, of course.
Well, let's not forget that although Martin's hit 4 strikes in a row from frames 2 till 5, he did have an open frame in the first game, and that has cost him some pins, and so the scores get even closer. Pressure time now on Jones to stay with it with another strike.
And let's not forget he did gutter ball as well in that opening singles matchup he played with Mike Fagan back in match 4. But ironed out all the problems, something Tommy has done after those 2 opens in frames 1 and 2. Back striking again after the spare in frame 7.
Yeah, much appreciated by the Team USA supporters here at the Metrodome. It's gone wide, but look at the reaction in the back end. That ball's just driving through and bouncing everything around. He's thankful for that, but he can't believe that he had a spare in the last frame in the middle of what would have been 6 strikes in a row.
Martin Larsson steps up for his foundation frame, looking to tie up this 2-point lead for Europe, leaving them within a singles victory of claiming the Weber Cup. You can hear a pin drop inside the Metrodome. Oh! And just can't strikes though.
Another 9 pins drop, unfortunately, leaving the 10-pin in the corner yet again. Doesn't quite make the flush pocket, and it's a flat 10 in the corner there. Just not enough impetus to bounce that 10-pin away.
This is all very tense because, you know, with Tommy Jones around, there could be some timber tumbling.
Yeah, nobody's going to give up until the last ball has been bowled. Nice thing is for Tommy Jones, he's working on a strike and a double here, and he's going to take the lead. Foundation frame, frame 9 for Jones, striking the 8th, and this has got to be one of the best shots he's played. He needs a 300 shot ball here.
If anyone can deliver that, it is Mr. 3-tonner himself, Mr. 300, TJ Tommy Jones, the man from South Carolina. Go-to guy under pressure, as he's been described by his captain Chris Barnes before. No!
Oh, what an amazing shot that was. The ball actually hit that 9-pin and it should have gone. But listen, we'll see it again. There's so much power on this ball cutting through, straight the way through, and doesn't hit the 9-pin properly. Oh dear, Mrs. Jones sees the funny side of it, but Bill O'Neill certainly doesn't, and nor does Mike Fagan. That should have been the double that could have set this game up for victory. Robbed at the absolute last minute by a perfect looking shot. And there's the spare, disappointment on his face, and maybe just a little bit more anger, which he may save until the end of the game.
I'll tell you what, if this doesn't go the United States way, I'm staying out of Tommy Jones' path tonight.
13 pins Martin Larsson takes into frame 10 as a lead. Chris Barnes doesn't want to look, wants to shake his head, and he's thinking about those 2 open frames in 1 and 2 that Jones had.
He's also contemplating some kind of salvage operation, because he is up next and he will try and deny Stu Williams the chance to win the Weber Cup for Europe.
Martin Larsson looking to bury this first shot in the 10th, right in the pocket, looking to seal up a victory.
Didn't find the pocket, did he? Head pin very thin, and it is another spare. That's the 3rd in the row for Sweden's Martin Larsson.
Okay, well, let's look at that worst scenario. It's left the 2-pin standing. It's a single pin spare, and it could have been a bit more than that. Spare strike for 216. There's the spare, and that's probably going to sew it up. It's going to be too much for Tommy Jones, who could only make 214. Nine pins for victory, 9 pins for a 215 game, and that will be too much for Tommy Jones. Martin's taken his time here, gathering his thoughts. Let's just bury this one in the pocket, and we'll accept a 9 count if you can do it.
All of the Metrodome willing it down. Yes! Strike! Martin Larsson becomes Europe's hero, and the men in blue are on the verge now of taking back the Weber Cup. The United States have won the last 2 tournaments, but here's the biggest prize in team bowling heading back across the Atlantic. Well, there's something in the air, and it smells like a European victory.
Yes, well bowled indeed, Martin Larsson. Lucky Larsson is going to be called. Right into the pocket there, carries all 10, and victory for Europe. Look at this. Mika Koivunen on his feet.
And Tommy can't strike out.
Well, he's going to spare up for 204, and we're all going to look back at the 2 open frames that he had in frames 1 and 2, and that would have cost him the game. Disappointment for TJ and the Americans.
And you couldn't have been able to get odds on those 2 open frames straight off for Tommy Jones. So, 2 victories on the bounce, Don Barrett and now Martin Larsson. 16-14 is the score in Europe's favour. They are a single solitary point away from retaining the Weber Cup.
I'm here on the stage with Martin Larsson, Lucky Larsson as he's become known in this Weber Cup, and his proud team captain as well. That was one of the most enjoyable and tense games to watch. What was it like to play in?
Probably one of the most enjoyable and intense game I ever bowled.
From the start, there was huge drama, wasn't there, in the first frame? And I suppose from your perspective, you had to try and regain control and focus.
Well, yeah, when I 7-10 the first shot, only one good thing that I had an okay line to get to the pocket, but I didn't expect Tommy to start with 2 opens, and after he did that, I just really hoped that I could take advantage of it, and I did.
Europe are 1 point away from victory now. Lucky Larsson's taking you to within 1. Captain Mika, how proud of you of the man who's come into the team this year?
He's been playing good whole week, and he threw a great shot in the field ball when he needed, so that's going to build his confidence. And we still need one more win. We need to ball great, make good shots like he did.
You do. You need one more. Well done indeed, Martin. Well done, Team Europe. Just one more win to go. Can they do it? Join us next time to find out.